Welcome to Showtime 49. Welcome to Showtime 49.
What's good, everybody? Appreciate y'all for stopping through, coming back and rocking with your boy. Hey, man, this Niners season, what we just witnessed, are we ready to chalk it up as a loss? Do we think it's time to just let go and really start really contemplating the players that's on our team, what we can provide, and are we going to actually be a contender? Because from what I see out there, it does not look like a championship pedigree type of team. We do not look like a team that's going to be contending with anyone at this point. Now, I know that we have had games and seasons where we start off slow. We've had the 3-5 starts, the 2-4s, the 2-3s, things like that. And like for now, it's not looking good. 3-4, it's just not get it. Our whole offense feels like it's injured. I mean, we don't have Debo. We don't have Ayuk, who is feared to have a torn ACL. We know how long ACL injuries are, how long it takes to recover from that. So we're talking at least a year, and that means this time next year, maybe. We see what Christian McCaffrey's going through right now with his situation. Do we even bring him back? These are just questions that we really got to ask ourselves. What's the point of McCaffrey coming back at this point? Like, let's really think about it. Is he really going to change the direction and where we're headed? Is that one person gonna all of a sudden make everything click for us and we start winning games again where we look like the best team in the NFL? Have we missed our Super Bowl window? Is it over? Was the last Super Bowl our last chance with this group, this regime, so to speak? It's something we really need to think about because this trade deadline might be super serious for us. We might need to be sellers. We might need to let go of some of our big name people and just start over because we're going to have to pay Brock. And we have these high contracts with Debo. Recently, Ayuk. We know Trent Williams is getting paid a whole bunch, but, he's on his way out. It's not like he's going to be around forever. He could retire any moment, any season. And if I was him, why? Why? His production is great, but it's not like it used to be. We're seeing more penalties called on Trent than we have in recent years. I mean, it's not like people show up to training camp anyway, but, that's neither here nor there. But what are we really doing as a team, as an organization? We know how Kyle Shanahan is. He has his highs, he has his lows, and I know I'm tough on him all the time. But do we think his time is over? Are his days numbered? Should they be? Should Kyle Shanahan be on the hot seat? Me personally, I think so. I would love for any one of y'all to tell me when the last time a coach that's been here for as long as he has, it's about 8 years now or so. Like how many quarterbacks is he gonna get? I mean, he's had Jimmy G, he's had Trey Lance, he has Brock Purdy. I just don't understand how many quarterbacks one guy can get without actually winning a Super Bowl. Like I get it that we've been competitive and we've been there in the mix at the end of the season, always one of the top teams, which is amazing. But it's for nothing. None of us are satisfied with almost none of us. And it's not like he hasn't made decisions that have harmed us in those situations. I mean, Was it not him that called the plays for us and start letting teams come back? Was it not him that started passing the ball a whole bunch when we should have been running the ball? It was Kyle Shanahan that was that. Yeah. I think it's time for a new change all the way. I feel like we shouldn't even got this deep in the contracts that we have currently on the team. Why? It's not like these players are getting any younger. Our players are on the old side, and our record indicates that. Brock Purdy today was awful, but he also didn't have anything. There's no Debo. There's no Ayuk. We know there's no McCaffrey. He had Kittle out there. There's no Jawan Jennings. I mean, do we really feel like we could beat the Chiefs? None of us have ever seen it under this regime. So how could we possibly? I am going to give a little shout out to the defense. Did they play perfect? No. But they did enough for us to win this game. Honestly, yes. Our offense is what I'm worried about. Our offense is trash. We don't put up too much of anything. Our play calling even seems so obvious and backwards at times. I mean, there's certain times like after a turnover, depending on where you are on the field. And why do we tend to just pick one thing? For instance, we'll pass every down, looking for the big play right after the turnover, instead of run the ball. The defense that was just out there, now there's a turnover. How about we continue to make them tired, which will have a long-lasting effect towards the end of the game, which we seem to give away leads now. That seems to be who we are as well. Not this game. And I know we're here for this game, but we need to talk about this as a whole. What is the future of our team? Our coaching is suspect. Our quarterback I love him, but he's up and down. Definitely. But our receivers aren't getting separation. Our running game is good. Jordan Mason is good, but he's also a backup still. We're running this season with backups. The wide receiver core that we had out there today, whew, a lot of people probably didn't even know their names. Of course, us that really pay attention to the team and the game, we know, but I had to do a lot of explaining in my house today. Like who is who, where they came from. So I really can't blame them for playing poor because they're not even really out there. They're not practicing with the ones most of the time, so it's just really, really, really frustrating. Really frustrated knowing the state of our team right now. And I'm just keep it a buck. We're not the championship team. We're mediocre, middle of the road. We can beat a good team, maybe. Just ain't seen it. And we could also lose to a bad team. Rams. We lost to them. Yeah, they're not a good team. They're injured. You know who else is injured? The Kansas City Chiefs. And they're undefeated. The only team left. Undefeated. They have a great coach, Andy Reid. He can figure it out. He always does. Humble about it and gives credit to his quarterback, who is that amazing. Patrick Mahomes is him. He's that guy. Their offense, nothing that they did today was impressive, except their defense. Their defense was impressive. But granted, we didn't have anybody or any weapons, really. And congratulations to Ricky Pearsall for your debut game, especially after being shot. I'm glad you made it back out there and you actually didn't look bad at all. Like I've got some high hopes for you. And I hope you have many, many more games with us where you don't have to experience injury, because that is something that happens on this team to all of us. It's football, but it seems like the Niners get injured a whole lot more than anybody else. I'm worried though, but I'm also ready to blow this up. You can say it's premature, say whatever you want, but these are my feelings. I feel like this is just the time where this team has reached their point where we need to look in a different direction. I don't know who our coach would be and all that stuff. I don't know. But something new, something fresh might be something that's revitalizing for this squad. And us as fans, as diehard and faithful as we are, this hurts to see us like this. Knowing we're still a good team, knowing we still have those good players, it hurts to see this happening to us this way. None of us have confidence that we can beat the Chiefs. I don't even think half the Niners have the confidence that we can do it. Because even with their depleted team and our depleted team, they still handled us. We've been used to having a team that can move the ball, but we don't finish now. When that didn't used to be the case in the last couple of years, especially with Brock Purdy at quarterback. We had been a team that was finishing drives. We were scoring touchdowns, averaging over 30 points a game. That doesn't happen too often anymore. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but I think we need to be sellers in this trade deadline. It might be time for Deebo to be gone. You know, it just might be. We gave up a lot of draft capital for Trey Lance. That is not here anymore. Shanahan didn't get punished for that, though, because he gave up a lot to get that man. And he's not going to get punished for it. He actually got an extension for it. So when at some point is his seat going to start getting a little warm? When? It's time. It needs to be some pressure put up under that man's behind right now. Pause. But it does. Somebody, somewhere. Come on. Owners, let's do it. We need something fresh. And I'm not the only person that feels this way. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that go against me, but there's going to be plenty that agree with me. And that's just where I'm sitting with it. Am I okay with Brock? It's cool. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He is. But he made some awful decisions today and some bad throws, for sure. And a lot of it, yeah, it cost us the game. You can't throw picks in the end zone. It was 2 times that we could have got some kind of points. Even field goals would have changed the way that this game went. But picks you just can't do it. Now, I know that the second pick, is a wrong route, miscommunication, and it happened. But even if he did run the right route, let's really look at the play. He had way too much air under that ball. So I don't see anything good happening from that play. It probably still could have been picked, knocked down, whatever. But I don't think anything positive was going to come from it. But there's a lot of questions over here in Ninerland. And it's not good. This whole season just seems like a wash. It doesn't have the same feel as the other seasons. Even when we did have those bad starts, we had a certain feel that, this ain't us. We're going to get it together. I just don't see that right now. I don't see us being that just killer team right now. Especially when you start getting injuries that are season-ending injuries. Like Brandon Ayuk possibly has. We'll find that out tomorrow. It's not a good place to be right now. Us as faithful, we're not feeling good. It's not looking good. It's looking pretty bleak. And honestly, the thing that would give me some hope is if we were sellers again in free agency. Or the trade deadline, I'm sorry. If we were sellers there and we can get some more capital back, some draft picks, first round, second rounds, maybe a couple young bucks, something. Because what we have right now in the current state that we're in and the direction we're heading, which is trending way down, I don't know. Even being in the playoffs right now, do we think we can beat the Lions right now? Do we think we can beat Minnesota right now? Shoot, we can't even beat all the people in our division right now. We've only beaten the Seahawks. So, and it wasn't impressive. Our offense hasn't looked impressive for weeks, dang near all year. We've definitely looked more unimpressive than we've looked impressive. Absolutely guaranteed. But man, that's that's my after the game rant. That's how I'm feeling right now, and that's how I'm gonna continue to feel for a minute, because this is the feeling that's been happening throughout this season, just reading it and paying attention to what we've been seeing. And it hasn't been anything great. So y'all tap in, let me know what y'all think we should do coming up to the end of this trade deadline in our very near future. What do y'all think is the best scenario for us moving forward so we can be a competitive team? If it's not this season, for our future. Because we don't want to be a team that's just sitting back and we're bums for years. Nobody wants to go through that anytime soon. I would love to hear y'all speak. Until then, I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. God bless.